This account of the difficulty some children have in expressing their emotions shows just how much the value of example can create solutions. My youngest daughter, as she entered her teenage years, had difficulty expressing her vulnerability. She was very hard on herself and sometimes even on us, especially with her mother. This hardness made her unable to open up to emotions of sadness and joy. This sometimes led to very harsh reactions on her part towards her mother, whom she loved more than anything. One summer afternoon, while we were walking in the large park of a beautiful castle, she spoke very harshly to her mother. The latter was very upset. I could see how my daughter was struggling not to show her sadness at having done this to her mother. Indeed, I could see that she did not want to show anything of what was going through her by trying to appear insensitive to the tension she had just created. I must say I was particularly moved to see my daughter in this state, at war with herself. I could have reprimanded her, reminding her that she had been unfair to her mother. I could have asked her to apologize for her disrespectful behavior. I could have threatened her with punishment for her inexcusable remarks. But I felt at that precise moment that all these actions would have no effect. And above all, I was deeply affected by my child, who was trying to contain her emotions by trying to show her shell of indifference, which only masked all the sensitivity that she was going through her. I quickly asked myself the following question. What if I set an example for her? What if I showed her that I, her father, was capable of showing what I was feeling at that moment, a deep sadness and an immense compassion. Of course, by showing my vulnerability, I could lose my apparent status as an invulnerable, sunny father, radiating strength and confidence. However, an inner voice pushed me to be at that precise moment as authentic as possible. So, I cried. My daughter then asked me, "Dad, why are you crying?" I answered her, "Because I see how much you are suffering, and it touches me so much to see you in this state." She then started to cry, and the three of us were crying motionless in the middle of the park. I was delighted to see the tears roll down her cheeks. The cuddles followed, and from that day on my daughter became more comfortable in her ability to express her emotions. I am perfectly aware that it's not always possible or even desirable to express our emotions at every moment of our lives, as it will then become an unfiltered mode of communication, not conducive to socialization. However, there are times when revealing our vulnerability and therefore our full humanity strengthens the bonds and that unite us for most of us. This was the first lesson to be learned from this experience. Setting an example in this area remains the best pedagogy. The second lesson also has to do with flexibility of mind and the ability to adapt. It's important to be clear about the ineffectiveness of certain practices based on coercion, and domination in order to obtain submission. As a parent, I've sometimes been locked into repeating ineffective solutions. But in this experience, authenticity proved to be the most effective lesson for my daughter. Do you ever find yourself trapped in unsuitable educational patterns